Hey guys, so we have been talking about Mice on Main, which is located in downtown Greenville. It's the scavenger hunt of the 9 bronze mice that we read the story about. So I want to show you a little bit on how to sculpt your mouse and how to get started making one out of clay. So we have some pictures that will be at your tables just to remind you of the basic shapes of the mice, and you can decide how you want your mouse to be. Is he lying down? Is he kind of crouched? Is he standing up? Kind of your choice what you decide to do and what you do with your sketch. You also have some pictures of real mice so you can see more of the details and the shapes, and then we'll get started with ours. So you're going to get a chunk of clay, and you're also going to get a piece of orange construction paper. This kind of acts as your placemat so that the clay won't stick to your table, because you'd hate to do all that work and then have to ruin it by getting it off the table. When you get your chunk of clay, there are 2 different ways for you to start with working on your clay. You can make it with 2 pieces, so you'd have a piece for the body and a piece for the head. If that's the case, pinch off a little bit bigger than your thumb, okay? Set that to the side. While the other piece, you wanna make that into your oval. So I'm gonna squeeze it just in the palm of my hand, almost like a stress ball, okay? As you're starting to get your oval shape, don't squeeze it too skinny like a hot dog, okay? Don't squeeze too hard. You want it a good thickness for your mouse. Now mine already has kind of a little bit of a pointed end right here, so I think I'm going to make that the head of my mouse, or the front end, and the back is a little bit rounded. Now if yours is not rounded, I want to teach you a little trick. Use the palm of your hand and kind of make a cup shape, and you can kind of tap, 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 and it helps to round out the end of your mouse. Now you also see these little wrinkles and folds where the clay got smushed together. We want to smooth those out, and your fingers are the best tool for that. So I'm going to just use my thumb, smooth it out to erase the wrinkles, to make it nice and smooth. Because remember, in the Mice on Main book, it said that they had clean, shiny fur. So that means we need to make it look shiny and smooth. So I'm gonna just smooth out those wrinkles. I'm turning it as I go to make sure I get all the sides. Don't forget down here. Okay, now one way is to take your clay and to continue to do what we call pinch and pull, okay? Pinch and pull is exactly what it sounds like. I'm gonna pinch the end of my clay kind of as I'm pulling it, okay? So you're using your fingers to stretch out the clay. So down here, I am getting it more to a point. So this is a perfect shape for my mouse's nose, okay? Smooth out those wrinkles. Now back here, if I want to work from the biggest shapes to the smallest shapes for my mouse, I'm not gonna do the tail yet. I'm not gonna do the ears yet. Okay, I want to think, what's the next biggest shape? Maybe the feet, perhaps? But you also want to think about what shape your mouse is going to be. Is it going to lie down? Is it going to stand up? Okay, if it's standing, you could go ahead and tap, 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 tap to get them to stand up nice and flat. For those from the side view, it looks like this. Okay, if that's the case, you could go ahead and pinch a little piece of this clay down at the bottom. I'm going to show you it all from angles. And see, I'm just pinching and pulling. And I'm not pinching or pulling so hard that it breaks off, but I'm very gently trying to smooth it as I go to make a little foot, a little mouse foot, okay? Over here, I'm going to do the same thing. Pinch, pull. Okay, smoothing out as I go the best I can. If it gets too pointy, kind of tap it gently with your finger to smush it back in a little bit, okay? So that kind of gives it 2 little feet sitting up like that, all right? For your arms, grab a little spot. See, I just did a little pinch there to start with my arm. See how I'm pinching it from different sides to try to make it even? If you need more clay, you can push it up from down below. If it's too much clay, you can pull it back if you need to. Like, I think that hand got a little too big. If you want your hands to be down more on the belly, we'll push those down in just a minute, okay? All right, let me go ahead and do the other side to match. And at first you might get frustrated with this. And you know what? If you pinch off a piece by accident, it's not the end of the world. Just get some more clay, pull it up to make it look smooth, then keep going. You can always smooth out any more wrinkles that you create. Okay, so look, he could even be like a little pig standing up right now. I think my nose needs to be a little bit more pointy and longer. All right, if you want your mouse looking up, you could kind of pinch in at his neck right here. Or if you want him to be looking at you, all you would have to do is kind of gently pull and push his head over like that. And then I need to make his nose a little pointier. Okay, let's look at this mouse picture just as a reference. Okay, so if I look back at a picture to try to make it look more like it, I think I need to make his face a little rounder in here. Okay. All right, now I could do the ears or the tail. Okay, how about I'll go ahead and do the ears since I'm up by the head. If you don't feel like you have enough clay to pinch it and pull the ears, go back to that chunk you saved or get some extra from Miss Fiddler and pinch off a little piece. I would roll it in a little ball. You could just do it right here or in your hand. And I'm gonna just push it down a little bit. And look, I'm gonna kind of fold it in to make it look like a mouse ear, like it's rounded a little bit. Now, anytime you attach a piece of clay, I need to tell you how it has to happen. I mean, you can just stick it right on there right now and it's gonna stick. But guess what? When it starts to dry, it's gonna just fall off because the water dries, evaporates out of the clay, and it pulls the clay apart. So we have to do something that we call score, slip, and smooth. Scoring is basically just doing scratch marks on your clay. Just little, here, I'll do it right here. Little scratch marks, crisscross, okay? Slip might be a little drop of water, just that helps you smooth it out. For your score marks, you could use a tool, whether it be a fork or a clay pencil. And I'm gonna think about where I wanna put that ear. How about right there? I'm gonna make a little line, okay? And I'm just gonna do a couple little scratch marks on the mouse and also here. Okay, I'm gonna get just a little drop of water from my cup. Look, literally just one little dip with my finger here and here. And I'm gonna stick it on, okay? Then you would smooth it to make it blend, make it look like it wasn't even attached, okay? And I would do that for the other side. Now, on another mouse, if you had enough clay on its head, I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? So let me get this other piece of clay that I had from earlier on. He needs a little work. He got a little smushed. So I'm going to smooth him out again. Okay. So, oops, sorry. If you wanted to pinch it, I'm going to use my fingers right here. And I'm going to pull up. Okay, and we're seeing it get a little crack right here, so let's just smooth that out. You're just gonna pull it and pinch it, okay? If you get your clay starts to crack a little because it's getting dry, you could always get one little dip of water. No more than one little dip on your finger. If you get too much water on your clay, it starts to get soggy and it starts to fall apart. Okay, trust me on that one, okay? So, I'm smoothing it and now I have an ear. I'm gonna turn it to the other side and I'm gonna pinch. And you know what? If one ear works to pull it and pinch it from the clay you have and then you feel like you really don't have enough clay, you can always add the second one. Okay, whatever is easiest for you. I might need a little water for the smoothing. I think this clay was a little drier. Pinch it. Okay, so his face needs a little help here. I'm gonna smooth that out. My ears might need to be supported while I do that. Try to make him a little bit better. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so that's also one way you can do it, by pinching and pulling, okay? Now for the tail, let's go back to this guy. The tail, you could simply pinch off a little piece, make a little coil. Remember way back to coil pots? If you ever made one of those with me, you can make a little coil, and you would still have to score, add a little water, and slip by attaching it, okay? So that it wouldn't just fall right off. And you could add the tail. Right now, I have plenty of clay down here, so I am going to pinch and pull. So look, just pinching right down here, almost making it look like a beaver. But I'm gonna keep smoothing, and I'm gonna keep pinching. And you might even find that you have way more clay than you need. Like this guy, I think he has way too much down on his back end. So I'm gonna keep smoothing and pulling it. All right, now, if you feel like you have too much clay too, you feel free to get rid of a little bit. You can always use it for extra stuff or give it back to me. We'll use it somewhere else. Okay, I had a few little cracks or wrinkles in there. It was starting to get a little dry. And as clay gets even thinner, the skinnier clay gets, the more fragile it gets. So be careful not to make it too thin. Oops, sorry, I'm not in the video. Be careful not to make it too thin too fast, because it will start to break. Like I got it a little too skinny before I did the end of my tail. Start at the end, and you can work your way up to stretch it out. And right now I'm honestly just pressing it to kind of squeeze it and stretch it out. If I pulled on this, I'd be afraid that the whole tail would come off. So I'm just squeezing it on different sides. You could also put it down. Oops. You could also put it down. So, yep, it's gonna pop right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of that and roll it to make it a little skinnier. And then this time, I'm gonna do this. Instead of scoring, the clay is already a little wet. And so I'm gonna just make sure it gets smoothed together. So you are erasing any lines that show where it was joined, like right there. Okay, now that you have your mouse, oh, make sure his ear's sticking on well. I would need to do my other ear for sure, but you are going to get a slab of clay, okay? So I'm gonna swap it out for this mouse that I already had been working on. A slab is a flat piece of clay like this. I've rolled it out on our slab roller, which is a machine that we have in the art room. And this is gonna help because you're gonna attach your mouse to a slab. So it is supported, so a little tail won't break as easily. So if you wanted to do a block of cheese or something, you could do that and you could attach it and it wouldn't break as easily. So again, the skinny little pieces of clay break really, really easily, okay? So that should get you started enough, and we will talk about finalizing our mouse later on, okay? So there you have it. So for cleanup, if we run out of time, what you are gonna do is get a Ziploc bag from me. You are going to write your name on a little slip of paper like this, stick it in the bag with your mouse, and we'll seal it up and get it to work on the next day. All right, thanks for watching.